Okay.
As far as the Florence Institute, I was wondering if you could tell me a little bit about it.
Sure. Do you have one of these yet?
I do not.
Okay, I can give this to you. And it's the same thing. I'll just
Yeah.
give you this. Sure. So the Florence International Institute, so kind of first, we have a Florence Center that's located in Florence, Italy, obviously, and it operates very similar to a campus. The only thing that doesn't technically make it a campus is that it doesn't award degrees.
Okay.
But we do all other functions of a campus. So we have long-term programs, so students can go and study there for a year. They can study all different kinds of majors. We engage our alumni there. We engage with our community in Florence and here. We really do a variety of things in Florence. And it's been in existence since 1972. It started with architecture and now has grown into over 700 students a year, not including kind of our other kind of side things like working with community, alumni tours, presidential tours, etc. So historically, the program has been mostly a semester-long program. Back in 2014, we designed a summer program called the Florence Summer Institute. The Florence Summer Institute was designed to meet the needs of our students studying here at Kent and within the U.S. And our first year in 2014, our goal was 30 students, and we had 100. So it was far more popular than what we had anticipated. Well, since 2014, we have invited many of our international partners from around the world to attend the Florence Summer Institute because they have told us that they're interested in sending students more short-term to Florence. Short-term study abroad programs are the most popular in the United States, and they're becoming increasingly popular abroad. So the challenge with the Summer Institute, our traditional Florence Summer Institute, is that it's during the month of June, which in most places around the world, school is not out yet. The university semester goes until the end of June, the beginning of July. So this upcoming summer, we're trying to develop a new summer program, the Florence International Institute, that's specifically to meet the needs of our partner universities around the world. So we're doing it in the month of July. We have invited many of our partners from around the world to attend the Florence International Institute, and it runs very similar to our traditional summer institute. So there are social activities included. The students stay in apartments that are located within the city. We have a field trip to Siena. There's a list of courses that are offered. The courses are different than the traditional summer institute, but you can see here we have about 10 different ones, and they're all pretty comprehensive on the different attributes of Florence. So we have some on food, we have some on the Renaissance, on art history, literature, all of those, cinema, mafia, all of those ones.
Ooh.
Yeah, there's a variety, and they're pretty, they're not major specific necessarily.
Okay.
And we're also inviting some of our partners' faculty to come teach there.
Okay.
So, for example, we will have from one of our closest partners in Brazil, the Pontifical Catholic University of Paraná. We call it PUCI for short. PUCPR is how it's spelled. But we pronounce it PUCI because in Brazil you don't pronounce it. It's a long story, but yeah.
I believe you.
Yeah, trust me, it's pretty PUCI. But anyways, he'll be coming to teach one of the courses. One of our stakeholders from Yale will come to teach a course. Really, people from all over will be there. So what I'm most excited about this program is the diversity of the students who are in the classroom, because we'll have students from China, from Korea, from Brazil. We may have some American students. While it's not necessarily advertised to American partners, it still, of course, might be a attractive program for American students. Maybe from Australia. So really all over the world, these students will be coming together to study different aspects of Florence.
It sounds awesome.
Yeah, I'm really excited about it. It's a program that it sounds really simple, right?
Yeah.
But I like the idea of the diversity of thought in the classroom, because not only will it be different kinds of students, but different faculty. I mean, can you imagine being a Chinese student studying in Florence at an American institution being taught by a Brazilian instructor. You know, it's just kind of like
so many layers.
So many layers, yeah. And so I'm really looking forward to that.
Sounds awesome. I had one question about something you said. What was it? I'm drawing a blank on that. Okay, so courses. Oh, okay. So since you can't earn degrees at the Florence Institute, can international students get like credit?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so they enroll in classes the same way that we register for classes here.
Okay.
So we'll have classes created. They get a Kent State transcript. All of the courses are 3 credits.
Okay.
And then they'll just transfer that back to their home university.
Cool. That answered just so many of my questions in one go.
Oh, well, that's good.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. You really knocked that question out of the park.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess that's all I have on that then.
Okay.
Okay. As far as, I guess I'll bring it up since, it's on the table. As far as like sustainability in studying abroad, is that anything you do specifically with your role, or anything anybody in this office really considers? It's okay if not. I'm just like wondering.
Yeah. We do have programs, study abroad programs, where their topic or the program itself is focused on sustainability. I don't know that. I'm trying to think if there's anything in particular. I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, aside from so we have such a wide variety of courses that are offered. And really the Florence program is the only one that is truly ours. So when a student goes abroad to another university, they are kind of, they're no longer our students. So while we don't necessarily do anything aside from those courses that are specifically focused on sustainability, the institutions that they're going to, they likely have efforts in place in which the students have to abide by. So for example, when our students come here, there's certain things that they have to do in order to encourage sustainable practices on campus and things like that. But
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, and I'm just thinking about like in terms of like the environment and things like that. There's way you can look at sustainability in many different forms. But, I presume that you're looking for sustainability in the certain terms of like.
Yeah, I was looking for, or like what I brought up to Marcello the other day was I was wondering how many students we send abroad. And he gave me the number, and I told him it's because each flight produces a certain amount of carbon, and now airlines and organizations are starting to offer carbon offsets for like $25. And so I was just like, I was just kind of asking him if we did anything like that. So that's where the direction I was looking at it.
Yeah, we don't necessarily. Not in that way. You could say, though, by students studying abroad, they're not driving their cars around the U.S. They're not taking any other flights in the U.S.
Yes.
But,
Yeah, okay. Well, that makes sense.
And they're going to countries. Most programs are in more developed cities, and so it's likely that they're utilizing public transportation, which could instill practices that maybe they would not have thought about had they just stayed here in Kent.
So you think, like, maybe some of the things and ways of life learned abroad can encourage...
It could. I think so. I mean, I even think about, like, I'm just thinking, when I was not talking, I was thinking about, when I go to Italy, for example, the way that they disperse of their trash and their recyclables is so much more developed than what we're used to here. So they have... First of all, every single person recycles and knows the differences of what they should be recycling or composting or just throwing in the landfills. They also, when they produce goods, they're typically from recycled materials and things like that. But anyways, to give you an example, if you're walking down the street in Florence, there's probably 5 different containers of how you can recycle your trash. And everybody takes their trash out to the street and takes their trash out one by one to recycle of it into different things.
Oh, okay.
So something like that, for example, maybe a student before never thought about recycling or separating their goods or things like that.
Yeah. Or never even knew it was possible.
Never even knew, exactly.
Yeah.
Or knew the differences, you know.
Yeah.
I think.
I still don't know the differences between some things.
Well, here in the U.S., it's like sometimes if you do recycle, you just put recycling in trash.
Yeah.
Which also isn't correct. You know, there should be different layers of all of that.
Yes.
And composting is also another big thing that I think the U.S. could be better at. But at least it puts it in their minds, you know.
Yeah.
So by going to some of those countries, and you know, maybe it also has a different effect of, you know, maybe they go to a country that is much more polluted. Like I'm thinking about, I was just in China. I was shocked by the air pollution there. I have
breathing,
heard,
was it like difficult?
The interesting part is that everyone told me October is it's nothing there. Like the air pollution is nothing. You will not feel it at all. Whereas if you go in like the heat of the summer, it's like you can't breathe. You have to wear a mask and everything. I was shocked that their version of not bad pollution was what it was. I mean, it's like a constant haze over the city. You can't see all the way out.
That's really sad.
It smells funny. I mean, like, you know.
Where does all the pollution come from there? I mean, I'm not like asking for the store. I'm just like,
don't quote me.
like,
you know, it's
oil, coal.
It's such a
fossil fuels.
Yes, and it's such a populated country. I mean, the city that I was in it was maybe it's considered a second tier. So it's not the biggest cities, but it's also not the smallest cities. It was a city of 8 million people.
And that's second tier.
And if you think about a city of 8 million people, that's our largest cities. That's New York, Los Angeles.
That's absolutely insane.
It's absurd.
Yeah.
It's really hard to wrap your mind around. And so one, I just think it's the amount of people, and it just costs a lot. Or it just, you know, the amount that the air has to suffer to create things for people to live, for people to drive their cars, for even the public transportation, I mean, all of that. And also there's just so many major factories in China that...
And, you know, kind of our fault, too.
Yeah, it's amazing. But it was really shocking.
That's crazy.
I couldn't... And you don't see green... You could see that they're starting to plant... Okay, and I should preface, I was in 2 cities in China, so by no means
you're not talking about the entire
I'm not talking
China.
about the entire... I'm just talking about my experience in these 2 cities. But you could see that they were starting to maybe put some things into place to help with it. And I know that there has been a lot of recent news coverage about what they are doing in China to help with the pollution. But I was shocked. Because even Marcello was like, oh, this is nothing. And I'm like, I cannot see the buildings in front of me. And everyone was like, did you wear a mask? Nobody was wearing a mask. Nobody.